Snow alerts are issued ahead of Wednesday's storm that'll bring a snow day to many. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice. In this video, I'm going to outline who will see the snow flying around, who actually has a chance at getting accumulation, and where we could find some travel troubles, and then the bitter, nasty cold behind this system, and then a warm March to come. So we got a lot to uncover here. If you're new to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video, and in the comments section, let me know where you're watching from. It's the best way to keep me informed of where you're watching from so that I can keep you up to date on what's going on, like new winter storm watches, winter weather advisories. As you see to the box right here beside me, we've got in pink those warnings which indicate that there's going to be the chance for a high impact winter storm. That includes a lot of Kentucky, Northwest Tennessee, and then it includes that eastern part of North Carolina we've been talking about, the triad over through Raleigh, Durham. That's going to be a big time snow, and that's as the low pressure goes up the coast and turns into somewhat of a nor'easter type event. And most of North Carolina, in fact, every county of North Carolina under some sort of advisory. That would indicate that there could be some slick spots going into tomorrow. Notice there's not an advisory or warning or anything for South Carolina. That could change, especially in the northern part, north of 85, just to indicate that there could be some slick spots on the roads. Let me show you what the very latest computer models are showing and how I see this unfolding. So here's basically a surface map. We've got a low pressure, a wave coming in later on tonight. What it's doing is it's overrunning. It's kind of giving some snow to Tennessee, the Midwest, back through here. And then as it goes into tomorrow, there's a surface low that forms. And that surface low is so important because it starts to send back additional moisture. So the northern parts of the upstate, most of western North Carolina could see snow flying around. Not going to accumulate too much. Atlanta Metro looks like you're mainly rain. So is Columbia, but you go northeast of there, Horry County, the Grand Strand, up through Wilmington, a lot of the Outer Banks, at Fayetteville, up through Richmond, Virginia. This is going to be a big time snow. And in fact, do you remember that outlook I showed you about 5 or 6 days ago that indicated, hey, there's a risk for heavy snow a week out? Well, boy, was that a good outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, because right on the money, right here in northeastern North Carolina through our nation's capital, through Richmond, Virginia. I mean, it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big one. Here's another way to look at it. This is the probability of 1 inch or greater. And as we go forward here across the Western Carolinas through midday on Wednesday, greater than an inch, we've only got about a 30% chance here across Asheville and surrounding communities. So there will be some snow, but the idea that it's going to really blanket everything is more north of Asheville, okay? I-40 corridor north has a 60-70% chance at getting an inch or more, but it's really later in the day when things start to kind of accumulate. There's a very slim chance, a 0 to, let's call it 20% chance of getting an inch in the upstate. That doesn't mean you may not see it flying around. Here's an impact-based graphic. This shows you the severity of the storm. So if we look at this as a whole, in this shaded gray area, I'll turn it off, turn it back on. So you see nothing. Here it is back on. In this shaded gray area, basically is the winter weather area. Expect winter weather conditions. There could be some slick spots here and there. Just be careful driving is what it says. Up here toward the yellow is minor impact, and that'd be Charlotte northeastbound. A few driving inconveniences to daily lives. Here's where you probably find your school closings. Many of you are asking about e-learning days or sports practices. I don't make those decisions. I do counsel with the powers that be that make those decisions in many different counties, many different schools, universities in the area. And I just give them my best bet and a detailed forecast. But I don't make those calls. Going off of what I know that they do, I don't know that this is enough to really shut things down. I know that slick spots and teenage drivers on the roads and buses, boy, you always exercise caution. But even so, I just don't expect this to be a major deal for us in the Western Carolinas. Where you get that is, though, is Charlotte Mecklenburg schools northeastbound, and this orange is a moderate impact, and then this red, major impacts, dangerous driving, avoid travel, disruption to the infrastructure, so power outages being possible through Richmond up through Norfolk, getting up close to DC. So gotta watch it. So here's the brand new computer model, fresh off the press. You're seeing it right here first. I hope you appreciate that. And again, if you don't subscribe, I'd invite you to subscribe to this channel, follow this channel, whatever you're watching from. I love what I do, and I love giving you early information on what's coming our way. So here comes that big blue. That would be all snow. It's never just that easy, though, right? There's some sleet, some freezing rain mixing in, some storms possible down here toward the Gulf Coast. But here we go into tomorrow morning. This would be very early, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. 7 a.m., we got some snow trying to enter western North Carolina, and it starts to snow across Asheville northbound. But this is 9, 10, 11 o'clock. Now we're starting to get a little bit of accumulation, maybe an inch or so. But at this point, what's happening here is there's a dig in the jet stream right here. But at the same time, all that energy is trying to shift toward what is going to be a developing coastal low. So this is the first layer. It shifts its power, or basically says a handoff to the coast. And that's going to happen sometime midday. So once that happens, this becomes less of a dominant feature, and this becomes more of a dominant feature, which is why you see ice and then sleet and freezing rain, and then some snow start to break out and become heavier here, Charlotte eastbound. That's because this has fizzled out. This is now becoming the more dominant feature. So the low pressure is kicking in, sending in Gulf, or I should say Atlantic moisture. Here it goes. It's sending it into areas of North Carolina, which may indeed wrap into parts of the upstate. Rewind that last frame. Cherokee County, Union County, Spartanburg maybe. You may get a surprise 1 inch of snow toward the end of the day on Wednesday, but for the rest of us, a quick burst of a flurry, yeah, we could get some excitement here with, the grass covered or something like that, but I don't think it's a big deal. Just some excitement for the kids. Does it shut down the roads? I don't think so. Enough for some fun. You see a little action going on here at about 8 o'clock. So we could get a little bit of excitement into the evening hours with the snow flying around. And could it make your trees coated or your grass coated? Sure. But is the road going to be coated with terrible problems? I don't think so. All right. At least not right now in the Western Carolinas, in the upstate. In the mountains, there's a better chance of that being a possibility. So that NAM model I just showed you, where it spits a little snow here and there, wants to paint a big old snow here across eastern Virginia, northeastern North Carolina, 10 plus inches of snow. You got about an inch or two in Charlotte. A dusting to as much as 1 inch here across the upstate of South Carolina, 1 to maybe 2 inches in the mountains. But you see those peaks, the higher ridge tops, could get closer to 2 to 4 inches. You know who you are. Let's look closer at the other high resolution computer model. Let's start with the forecast. This is, throw out the globals. Not completely. I do look at the globals, but for the most part, when you're this close to a storm system, 24 hours, the high res is the way to go. You're almost a fool's errand looking at global models at that point, because it's not going to give you critical data. They're just not high resolution enough. They can't get into the micro scale of things, okay? That's the Euro and the GFS. But the NAM, the high resolution rapid refresh, they're very granular. They can see county by county details, where the European and the GFS is more of a broad brush. So here we go, same model. We got snow moving in. This will be 5, 6 a.m. to the mountains. Right on the money here, same, but it looks like it's sticking right to that state line. But you see here at 10 a.m., a little dip into the northern parts of the upstate here. And then this would be 11 a.m., another little dip here across Clemson and Seneca. We could get a quick burst of some snow, Greenville. And then this continues to be the case going into the afternoon hours with a quick hit of some snow, maybe some rain, but it's pretty well shutting down by 3 o'clock, and that coastal low is taking off to the races, and that's where we're going to find our little bit of action. Now, that said, this is showing with some flurries coming on the backside of this. Could get a quick hit of some flurries or a surprise snow shower into the overnight hours. Does it cause much problem? No. Does it coat your grass or your deck and you wake up on Thursday morning, you're like, hey, it snowed? Possibly, okay, but I don't expect it to be a big issue for your town or cause you issues. All right, so here we go. Snow totals on that high resolution model still really, really muted. Dusting to a 1/2 inch in the upstate. Remember that last one, just enough to kind of make things pretty for a little while. You see it falling. For the mountains, generally 1 inch, with some of the higher peaks being closer to 2 inches. Is this the last snow? No, not necessarily, but is our pattern changing? Yes. Here's what we call the North Atlantic Oscillation. When it's well negative, here's 0. When it's well negative, we get blocking patterns more likely, which keeps cold air locked in. But in this case, it turns positive that last week of February, which means thereafter, I would expect it to be quite warm. So as we're looking at the pattern as a whole, let me scoot this over a little bit so you can see it. Looking at the pattern as a whole, let's start with 6 to 10 days out. You've got near normal to cool-ish temperatures. This would be last week of February. But as we go into the precipitation, that'd be the 23rd through the 27th, we're drying out. So we're drying out. Things are really drying out across the area. How about March, that first week of March? Looks like we're really warming up across the United States. Florida's looking near normal, 70s returning. Near normal precipitation. So basically a zonal flow, no big drama. Things are kind of looking normal for a little change. How about weeks 3 and 4? This was just issued recently, and it's showing that first 2 weeks of March, we could be a little on the wet side, but we also look to be slightly above normal temperature-wise. So the idea that February is kind of our last good chances for some snow, and then you get into March that looks to be warm that first few weeks, does lend me to believe that this might be our last chance at seeing some flakes. I never want to say never, but at the same time, it is getting to a higher sun angle. We're getting into a time of the year where things actually begin to warm up for us. How about the dangerously cold temperatures, folks? Because we're going to be near zero beyond whatever snow we get. Let's map that out here for you. So going beyond Wednesday, that thing brings in some really cold air. So Wednesday into Thursday morning, we're waking up to high temperatures that are in the 20s. Look back here. That's sub-zero temperatures beginning to enter the picture. Let me turn on a different model. Gives us a little higher lookout. All right, so Thursday afternoon, high temperatures in the 20s in the mountains, teens in the higher elevations, with temperatures topping out right around 30 to 35 degrees across parts of the upstate. It's going to be really cold all the way down to Florida Thursday. Thursday's raw. And if it's cold Thursday afternoon, wait till Friday morning. Friday morning, we're waking up to 13 in Asheville, 22 in Charlotte. Look at Richmond and Norfolk, right around 20. So whatever snow you get's not going anywhere anytime fast. You got single digits here through the Midwest, Southeast, all in the 20s in Georgia, down to South Georgia, even some 20s. There's even 20s in the panhandle of Florida. 34, 35 degrees in Orlando. Cold at the parks on Friday. My word. Can you imagine that being your park day? Yikes. Friday, we begin to turn the corner. It's at least not as cold during the day. And then going deeper into the forecast, I'll just show you the Europeans version of temperatures. Let's go back to where we picked up. This would be Friday. We're starting to warm things back up. Okay, Saturday, a little bit more warmth down here toward Florida. Finally seeing some 70s. And then into next week, we're slow to do it, but we're finally beginning to warm things back up. So a lot of ups and downs over the next couple of days with some snow flying around depending on where you live. Where do you live? Let me know that in the comments section, please. And hey, if you don't already, and you have a weather friend that that loves kind of diving deeper into weather like this, share this with them and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. My goal is to get weather information out to you in any situation, whether it be severe weather, hurricanes, or in this case, a little bit of snow action. It's fun. I love what I do but on TV, but this gives me an opportunity to dive in deeper and expand on it more with you. And then when you catch me on TV, you get a cleaner version that's kind of more detailed for your area. So, hey, let me know what you're hoping for out of this situation. And again, if you don't already, please like this video, comment in the comment section where you're watching from. That helps me out. And subscribe to the channel. You can also turn on notifications so that if I do a urgent video update with maybe a new winter storm warning or a new track of the low coming out, you'll be the first to know about it. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in.